How's it going today? I'm a little late, but I have my January wrap up 2022. Yay! I only read 5 things, okay? All right. I dropped the ball on this one, okay, guys? I had high hopes and I did really well. I read 2 full-length novels. Thank you very much. That and 3 manga. That's it. That's all I have. And I have a huge TBR for next month. If you want to see that, be sure to subscribe. Let's get into it. I'm gonna do the books first since there's only 2. And then I'll get into the manga, okay? First, I did actually read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is a book. This is a horror novel about a girl who, I think they're in high school, like junior or senior year, I can't remember. And they're a group of friends, just your average teenagers, and they all of a sudden start getting into, you know, a little bit of party scene, and they do some drugs one night and they're having a good time. They do some dares and stuff, and then one of them gets lost and something crazy bad happens to her. And I'm not going to go into too many spoilers. There is an exorcism that happens later on. And I will say I liked the ending okay. The beginning was very long. It took a very long time to get to the good stuff, and I think it could have been half this length. It wasn't bad. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars. It's hard for me to remember. But if you want to see my full review, you can go to my Goodreads, which will be in the description. You can go there and read my thoughts after I read it, because I usually review them the day I read them, like as soon as I finish, so that my thoughts are fresh. Anyways, it was good. I think the hype was a little too high for me and my expectations. I was expecting this to be amazing based off of what I had heard other people say, but to me, the cover is probably the best thing about it. It had some outdated things, but he also did recognize that these ideas were outdated. So, you know, it wasn't necessarily the author thinking these things. They were just trying to make it time appropriate, if that makes sense. I guess I recommend it if you're into cheesy horror. It just wasn't as fun as I thought it could be. The next book I read was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This is one of the most well-known YA fantasy. I guess it's YA? Yeah, or new adult. I can't remember. It's one of the most well-known series on BookTube. And I had seen it everywhere. Everyone has read this. Everyone has read all of her books ever. And anytime a new one comes out, it's like a new apocalypse is happening or something. And I was like, well, I was given this book in a big box of books from a good friend. And I said, I have it. It was free. I might as well give it a try. And if I hate it, I'll know that I don't need to ever pick up any of her books again. If you haven't watched my vlog, which you should, go watch it right now. Pause this video. Go find it. You watched it? Okay. Now that you've watched it, I liked it. It was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. I think that it has a lot of cheesy YA tropes. The main character, she really thinks very highly of herself, even though she got caught and is obviously not the best assassin there is. If she is caught and in this slave camp is pretty much what it is. It was just kind of cringy and annoying to just hear her constantly talk how awesome she is in her own head over and over and over and over again. And how everyone was so afraid of her and how everyone had revered her and all these things. And I was just like, show me, don't just tell me these things. Like, show me how awesome she is. It was just a lot of jibber jabber, honestly. And I liked it, you know, it was good when you got to the story part. But as far as just the inner dialogue of our main character, I didn't really love her. She's not the most likable character in my opinion, just personal, might be controversial, but I preferred Chow and some of the background characters as opposed to her. Even the woman that's name starts with a K, she's like tries to get them in trouble. You know who I'm talking about if you've read it, but she is kind of a villain. And I kind of thought she was more interesting, honestly. I liked it okay, and I am reading the 2nd book already, but it's just a slow going process for me because I don't read a lot of fantasy. I enjoyed more so far, honestly. It's still going. I'm not halfway through it yet, but I will let you guys know in one of my reading vlogs what I think of it when I do eventually finish it. But for now, 4 stars. Okay, now to the manga. I read Yakuza Lover Volume 1. This is by Nozomi Mino. I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. The art is unique, but it's not my favorite. I'm not a big fan of our main love interest. I don't think he's that sexy, so that kind of just threw me off. I think our main girl character is beautiful, but I don't love the art style. I don't love the idea for the story because it's so it's manga. It's not supposed to be realistic, okay? I'll give you that. But I'm sorry. This would never happen. And it's not even a fun fantasy, honestly. Like she's constantly worried that he's gonna get killed, and it's not fun to me. Like, I could not imagine that being a fun thing to have in a relationship, is this constant worry. And I'm sure that later on in the series it's gonna be like, oh, she's become just as strong as he is and all that. But it's not necessarily for me yet. I might give it one more volume just to see, but it was okay sexy wise. I feel like I've read a lot worse, and this was plastic wrapped. I don't know. I feel like Sweat and Soap got a little spicier than this, and it wasn't plastic wrapped. So that's just my opinion. A lot of people love this. It's affordable. It's only $10 compared to a lot of other adult manga. So if you're curious about the genre and you like the idea of Yakuza love, then I recommend it enough. Next, I read Mao Volume 2. This is a new series by Rumiko Takahashi that I am continuing on with this series. I'm enjoying the characters a lot. I think that this takes some of the elements from Inuyasha mixed with Mermaid Saga, a little bit of the horror from Mermaid Saga, and a little bit of the fantasy magicalness, time travel-y of Inuyasha, if that makes sense. This is such a good blend of those two, and I think that this could be something awesome later on in her career. I cannot wait to see where this goes, and I have no idea how long it's gonna be, but I'm here for it, and I'm glad that I started at the beginning because Rumiko Takahashi is my favorite mangaka and will always be. And she's also got a short story collection coming out that I want to get, but I have not pre-ordered it, so we'll see. The last thing I read this month, I did decide to continue with Our Teachers Are Dating by Pikachi Ohi, or however you say that name. I'm so sorry, I suck. But this is an older teen series about these two teachers. One's a science teacher and one is a, I think, physical, some kind of PE or physical teacher. I can't remember what class she teaches. It really does not matter what they teach, okay? But this is really cute. The first volume was a lot for me. I feel like it should have been at least a couple more volumes to pad out the beginning of the series because it just kind of throws you into it, and I felt very overwhelmed and a little confused, and it kind of made me bored because it was so all over the place. But through this second volume, I love it. It's adorable. It makes me want to continue it, and I'm sad that there's only 2 more volumes. So I do have the third one, which is a very risque cover, and I'm afraid to show it here. So in my TBR, I'm gonna have to cover it up because it is pretty adult, but you know, it's cute. If you like Yuri, or if you like just girl love in general, it does get pretty spicy in this volume. The first one wasn't too bad, but this one, there is a lot of the smexy times, and it gets very detailed, especially in the very end of the book. I would show you, but I would get taken down. For adults only, pretty cute. It is one of the higher priced ones at $12.99 though, so just keep that in mind. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what I read. I'm cold. It's very cold in my house. I hope you enjoyed what I read this month, and I'll see you in my TBR for next month. Bye guys.